Dreamweavers, StarTrax.
Hello, and we are Dreamweavers StarTrax, and my co-host, Miss Coren and
Hello.
This phenomenal person is Amylicious of Black Eyed Tease. Yes, a tribute artist to Fergie. This is going to be kind of a fun show, so hang in there, watch closely.
And I'm going to introduce my amazing husband, Ren Coren. He is obviously the co-host of this fun show. He's an actor, an acting coach, playwright, screenwriter, and filmmaker, and everything else under the sun. And we are blessed to have Miss Amy Sung, one of our longtime Dreamweavers clients.
Yes.
And we're going to be asking her a little bit about her history, about when she decided to become Fergie and get into show business.
So if you've ever wondered what's it like to be a tribute artist, pay attention. All right, go ahead.
So we're just going to talk a little bit about an overview of Miss Beautiful Amylicious Amy Sung's career. And one of the big questions we always ask our guests is, how and when did you decide that you wanted to become a singer and then a tribute artist?
I would say my singing career began, just going through high school singing. Even prior to that, I would just get asked to sing for various little things. I sang at a rodeo, I sang at some weddings, always very nervous at the time. I didn't really have much training, but it wasn't until years later that I decided to become a Fergie impersonator, and I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit.
We'll talk about that in segment 2, people. Excellent. And why did you decide?
Yeah, tribute artist, kind of.
Yeah.
Everyone's singing, and then you chose this particular thing. So, kind of what led into that?
Well, if you look closely, I kind of resemble Fergie a little bit.
Just a little
That's
bit.
a good start.
I was actually singing with a friend of mine downtown, and people started remarking that I look like Fergie, and it started happening all the time. I was like, maybe there's something to this. Like, maybe I should pay attention, to these people saying, you look like Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas. So it wasn't until about 2010 that I started becoming a Fergie impersonator, and did my little Fergie solo stuff, and then I gradually formed the Black Eyed Tease, and it's been a ride.
That's a great name.
It's been so fun. So that's kind of the gist of,
That's great.
what started it all.
Well, and one of the things that I think is important for our audience is to know, how did you put the band together? How did you figure that part out?
Because we're thinking of some of you out there may want to do it. You could be anywhere in the country or the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so how do you, I've got this idea. I look like someone. I want to do a tribute.
Well,
That's an interesting journey.
Yeah, it is.
Just being involved in the music scene, obviously you meet people and you find out who does what, who's looking to do something. So it took a long time to actually pick the band members, to get everything from start to finish, from, building the backing tracks to, are we going to use live band, are we not going to use live band, getting everything taken care of. So, it was word of mouth, a lot of word of mouth, definitely. People that I knew, just passing the word along. And, do you know anybody that looks like Taboo? So I actually had a friend of mine who was a Prince impersonator, and he led me to who is my Taboo now. So, and then he led me to our new will.i.am, who's been with us for the last few years. We've made some changes in the band, and then, just like knowing somebody, another friend of mine referred me to somebody else who referred me to who is my Apple Diap now. So
Started with musicians.
Yes.
Then tried to find, wait a minute, their music, because, the whole band has a whole look, and they, unlike most bands, they're all performers.
Yes.
So then you started looking who looks or who can be made to look.
And who can sound like them. Yeah. So
because you're talking
about
about
very picky, actually.
I'm sorry, I just cut her off. Okay, so one of the things, because we'll talk about this in section 2, but I was Barbra Streisand tribute artist for years. Of course, I'm only 25, so it couldn't have been too many years.
Yeah. She's so much.
Yeah, just saying. So there's two things: being a ringer, which means you look exactly like the artist, like beautiful Fergie and Jewish girls. We all look alike, and And then you have to sound like them. And if you look like them and you sound like them, that's the ticket. There's cash, money involved in that.
And there's an interesting thought. So in section 2, maybe both of you could cover, because Coren will explain why sometimes looking like someone, you sound like them, and they're resonators. Because, the face, if it has a similar shape, also has a similar resonance, which
Similar
is kind
sound.
of really cool.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And some of it you have to manufacture through lots of training.
Lots of training.
And we'll talk about that in segment 2. So this is important for those of you who want to be a tribute artist. Miss Amylicious, how did you get your first gig? And by the way, my phone did go off. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb, but it was an audience question, so it's legal. Just saying.
All right, we'll forgive you this time.
Thank you.
What was the question again?
Thought I was the old person. No, I'm just joking. The question is, how did you get your first gig as Fergie?
As Fergie, just as Fergie, I was hired by a friend of mine to do a Christmas party. So, and I was so nervous at the time, and that pushed me to put my little mini Fergie show together. So as Fergie, yes, that was through a friend, and I had another friend who hired me. It was just all like people I knew, basically. You just rub shoulders with people that are in the industry, and you talk about what your plans are, and eventually word will spread and somebody will be like, hey, I want a Fergie tribute artist. But as far as the band goes, our first gig was at the Cosmopolitan here in Las Vegas, and that was through our
big place to start your first gig.
Yeah, it was in a
casino for you. Those of you guys don't live in
it's a
Las
nice
Vegas.
place.
It was in the club there. So yeah, that was cool. That was through our Prince impersonator friends. So he connected us with the right people. So we got our first gig there, and then we performed downtown a little bit, and it's just been going ever since.
So one of the things that I really gather here, and if you're paying attention, she communicated to friends and people, because if you don't bring this out, your idea, and share it with friends and family and musicians, they're not going to find it. And that's how you get there. Now, of course, let's be honest. Every gain a loss, every loss a gain. You may have to go through, as you'll explain a little later, what that journey's like, going through multiple people, and because it's multiple personalities. It's an interesting combination of putting things together.
Absolutely.
So we have an audience question for Amy, and that question is, why are tribute artists so popular?
Well, for one, we're a bit more affordable and probably more available.
That's good.
I think the cool thing about it is that you can get the experience of being at a, say, Black Eyed Peas concert, even when they're not touring. So instead you get the Black Eyed Tees, and, you can have a party just like they do on stage. And obviously the key things would be affordability, and the fact that the band may not be touring anymore. The younger kids may not be able to see Black Eyed Peas if they don't go on tour again, which I hope they do.
Most of us don't have
Fergie
$250,000 to have a show-up artist. So.
Just saying. So that was from Julia from Seattle, and thank you, Julia, for texting us that question.
Keep an eye on the bottom third down here, and look for blackeyedtees.com if you have any questions, or if you say, wow, could you come to our party?
That's right. That's right. If you want to book the Black Eyed Tees and Miss Amylicious from the Black Eyed Tees,
just go to our website.
Go to the website and hook it up for your birthday party, your wedding.
You bring the glow sticks, we provide the party.
And I love it. Where do you get the glow sticks? No, just joking. Just joking. So Miss Amy.
Yes.
One of the questions that we like to ask our people are, did you have a lot of support growing up?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, my family was probably, the most supportive of family I could ever have. So,
cool.
my sister and my mom are like my biggest fans, and I love you guys.
Hi sis, hi mom.
Yeah, they always were, they came to me, hey, can you sing at, my wedding, or, I sang at lots of, family events, a baby shower. They were my biggest fans all the time, and they would even, make me sing in front of family, even when I was nervous. But it would help me break through, the nervousness and to gain confidence. So, yeah, they're definitely my support team.
Very cool.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Miss Amy.
Well, we're going to come up in the next section, and we're going to find out a little bit, what's it take to train when your voice isn't quite like the artist, but you really want to do this artist. So we'll catch you on the flip side.
All right.
Tonight's gonna be a good night, and tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night.
Hi, everybody. We are Dreamweavers StarTrax. I am Corinne Zai. I'm a voice teacher with the amazing Amylicious from the Black Eyed Tease, a Fergie tribute artist, and a long-time Dreamweavers client.
Yes.
And we're so excited to have her with us. And now, this is the part in the show where we talk about vocal training. And it's really important as a tribute artist to make sure you have control of your voice. So we're going to go there. But at first, we have kind of a funny story that Miss Amylicious is going to talk about.
Let's see, performance story. We performed for Oktoberfest, which is a beer drinking festival where they sell beer by the liters.
Party!
And right in the middle of a song, I got a gigantic mug of beer spilled down my leg into my shoe, and I think the cold made me hit the high note. You know, it was like, woo!
I mean, you were in the middle of singing when that happened?
In the middle of singing, and the beer just went whoosh down my leg, and I just couldn't miss a beat. You know, I just had to be pro. So that was, I don't know,
That's
was pretty
funny, people.
Yeah.
I have some stories too,
happens.
but we're not going to go into them because they're way too embarrassing. But that is a pro. Keep on going no matter what happens.
Don't miss a beat. Don't lose focus.
Do not lose focus. So we're going to start out with Amy's training. I mean, there's several sides to being a tribute artist. Like I said in the first segment, I was a Barbra Streisand tribute artist for years. And so we have our voice. We have our image, our look. Are you a ringer? Do you look just like the artist? Do you sound just like the artist? And how do you market yourself and put that together? And the performance. Do you act just like the artist? And so Ren is going to handle that in segment 3. But what have you done vocally to sound like Fergie? Because, you know, you and I, we pulled the ticket. We look exactly like some of the greatest singers on the planet. So it wasn't like I was just gorgeous and looked like Marilyn and could kind of blow through it with a bunch of air. So what did you do to make that happen?
Well, obviously, I found you.
Me!
Speech level singing, really learned techniques on how to get a deeper sound, because Fergie has a lot of different sounds.
Oh my God.
Which
Oof.
it makes it really fun for me because I get to, sing different types of voices.
Right.
But yeah, I had to do some training to learn how to, create that sound,
Right.
and different vowel modifications to hit certain notes, while I'm still trying to give the right facial expressions. And so, it's like
Got a lot going on in there, which is
yes.
so much different than just doing yourself. Because whatever you do yourself, nobody said to you, "Oh, you don't sound like." It's like, hey, I'm doing me. I can sound like anything I want.
Exactly.
Right. Vowel modifications, by the way, people. Certain vowels are more challenging to sing than others. So you take the easy vowels and you kind of morph the vowel in the song to sound like one of the easier vowels. Just saying. That's what a vowel modification is.
And I really try not to sing ever unless I warm up my voice. I do my warm-up exercises.
Smart
and,
lady.
yes.
Smart
Preserve
lady.
the voice. And
Yes. So how did you become the leader and get everybody to commit to Miss Fergie Black Eyed Tease?
well, I grew up in high school, or a little bit before high school. My parents sent me through some leadership courses, and I didn't really apply it much until this time in my life. And it's actually, I will find myself tapping into some of the the trainings that I learned back then. And I think it's just because you have when you get a goal in mind or a vision, you start dreaming up something, you find a way to make it work. And so if that means you have to lead a group of men when you've never done anything like that before,
Ladies.
and go through the trials of maybe certain personalities don't mesh as well, or and you have to change things up a little bit, and taking the leadership role, you have to make those decisions, and even hard decisions at times, but it always, if you do the right thing, it ends up working out. And I've had to make some changes, but now I have this team that everybody is has
Amazing.
the time that can dedicate to the project, and and we have personalities that mesh well with each other, and
That's
a
important.
mutual respect for each other. It's
Important.
Respect is earned, I believe, and we have the mutual respect with each other, so that definitely is a.
I love it.
helps.
I love it. See, that's really important, ladies. Listen to it, because it's not easy. If you watch Jeff and Leon mix, it's not easy to be the girl in the band. They don't-
especially trying to lead the men, and I've had my moments where I've broken down and like, oh, I can't,
Yeah.
it has its challenges, but it can be very rewarding as well.
And I was there when she was putting it together, so believe me, I know what she went through.
I come
But
in
she-
crying sometimes.
Right.
I don't know what to do with
But
this.
she's done an amazing job, you guys. It's you saw it on the media before this segment, in the first segment. So Amy, obviously that's pressure, right?
Yeah,
Right.
a
It's a lot of
bit.
pressure when you're the
Yes.
leader of the band, especially tribute artist band. So how do you commit to that, and how do you deal with it? Do you use positive affirmation?
Oh, yes.
Positive information helps too.
That too.
But positive affirmations.
Oh, yeah.
I'm leading her into this one because I know the answer. Just saying.
Oh, absolutely. I'm a big believer in affirmations, and just, you have to have confidence. And thankfully, I'm impersonating somebody with a lot of confidence. So
Yes.
that kind of helps. I can just kind of pretend like I'm her for a minute, and I get
Right.
like this instant, dose of confidence. But yeah, I would say you have to believe in yourself.
That's huge, huge. Men, women, children, doggies, kitties. Your self-belief and self-confidence is everything. If you feel confident, then the people that are working with you are going to feel confident in what you're doing. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you, and this is the fun part. Can you just do a chorus from a song? No music,
Sure.
just a
All right.
cappella.
Okay, so how about
Do me some foigy.
all right. You got me tripping, all stumbling, all flipping, all fumbling, so clumsy 'cause I'm falling in love, so in love with you.
Ah, there it is, Fergie. I love it. Now let's talk about this. And this is something that probably only you and I know. Okay, it's our little secret. We're going to share it with the world. Okay, Fergie, a lot of the resonators and the shape of the face, like we with Barbara, and you with Fergie, yes, I do have Barbara's nose. We ain't going there. All right. She's got a cute little nose. That has a lot to do with the color and tone of your voice, which means you're going to sound like someone, So I sound in many ways very much like Barbara's because of this whole thing going on, and you sound like Fergie because of that whole thing going on. However, Fergie is a mezzo.
She's got all the lows.
Amylicious does not. Amylicious has highs.
High voice.
So we had to really work on getting those lows, like you just heard her do.
I even did some of those exercises today.
Oh,
It's like
my
working
girl.
out. If you don't keep up with it, it's like going to the gym. You'll
Right.
lose the muscle strength if you don't keep doing it. So I repeatedly do certain exercises that will help me to hit those low notes, because if I get a gig and get on stage, if I have only a week to prepare, I can't try to rebuild those muscles in a week. I need to stay on top of it.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you. I didn't have to say
Practice,
it.
practice,
Amy said
practice.
it. I say it about 1,000 times a day. Okay, we have an audience question
Okay.
for you.
All right.
Okay, and this is from Michelle, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hey, Albuquerque, what's up? How do you mimic someone else's voice? Whoa, huge question.
Yeah. Well, obviously, besides the training and asking advice from your trainer, but I think the important thing for me is to always go back to Fergie. I listen to her live. I watch tons of videos. I listen to her tracks all the time, and in order to mimic her sound, I will sing with her track playing. That helps, because you can tune in, like if you're off, or like sometimes I might
Right.
realize I'm singing just a little higher on some of the raps,
Right.
and I really am trying to perfect it all the time. I'm always working on it. I'm always
Saying the words the way she says it.
yeah,
And starting
I
and
will-
stopping the phrasing exactly how she does
exactly.
it.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll go back and I'll be like, wow, I didn't realize I missed that little thing that she does at the end of tail end of that note, but so you just a lot of practice.
Well, Miss Amylicious, thank you so much. We're so grateful. I love you. We'll be hanging for pictures afterwards. And we're going into segment 3 with Ren Zai, talking about performance and a bunch of cool stuff. Miss Amylicious.
Thank
love
you.
you, girlfriend.
I love you too.
See you soon.
body stay vicious. I'll be up in the gym, just working on my fitness. He's my witness. Tell him where I'm from. Finger on the palm, make the 6 straight jump from SoCal, Hollywood to the
Hello and welcome back to Dreamweavers StarTrax, and we are with Miss Amylicious of Black Eyed Tease. And one of the things we want to really find out here, at least I do from a performance standpoint, normally as a performer, you, especially as an actor, you'll be taking parts and you go, okay, what do I want to be, what do I want to do? But your situation in this is you've actually got to be someone. Kind of like if you're playing the part of another person in history, you've actually got to be who they are. So what went into you really psychologically? Like when you're on stage and you have to kind of be Fergie so that they can understand on the performance level, what's some of the stuff you do inside?
Well, I try to actually, for a moment, pretend like I really am this multi-platinum, sexy, artist with a gorgeous husband, Josh Duhamel.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Just like really try to get into character, like I am Fergie. Obviously I don't take it too seriously off stage, but on stage, I can take it very seriously to get to portray that confidence or to portray that story of whatever I'm singing. If I'm singing Fergalicious, I'm just like this, little sexy kitten, sorry, sexy kitten up there. Or I'm doing Big Girls Don't Cry, and I will actually tap into some of the emotions that I've experienced going through relationships, breakups, or whatever. So, or falling in love. You tap into those real emotions in order to portray the storyline of the song.
Okay,
you're singing.
so you kind of find parts of your life sometimes, things so that you can get the emotional parallel to whatever the story's about, which is really cool. And that's one of the biggest things, again, as we've talked about on the show multiple times. Many people can sing and phenomenally sing. They're gymnastic singers. And they sing the melody line and they sing the performance. One of the things we try to get to here is Amy's been training in for years. Sing the melody, but perform the story. And as you can hear, she starts doing a lot more digging because in the end result, if Amy's moved and we're watching her and she's Fergie and we think she's Fergie. And that's the cool part.
The audience will believe it.
Yeah. If you're moved, they're moved. They follow every time. And that's kind of the fun part that we do with that.
Yeah.
So in that, any humorous moments of trying to do something or things that might happen on stage in a performance and you're trying to really get it together?
Well, I mean, things happen like, out of your control, or just like, for example, we were in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, and as, we're probably in the second or third song, and we're just really into character, and we look out at the audience and we see children, like teenagers, floating on top of the crowd. They were crowd surfing. And we'd never seen that before, and we were just like, in my head I'm going, are they going to get hurt? I hope the security is going to pull them down. But also I'm like trying to stay in character and enjoy the moment, with these kids, because they're having a blast. And so, I mean, every once in a while you get to experience, I don't know, those are the moments as a performer that I think you live for, just seeing things like that, seeing the crowd go crazy and really think, they found us in the hallways, they were taking pictures and videos of us, they were like, it's Black Eyed Tease, Black Eyed Tease, like we really felt like, we are the Black Eyed Tease to these
that's
kids.
What they want.
Yeah.
When someone's watching a movie, they don't want to know, well, they're caught up into the character. They don't want the character. Just, by the way, remember, I'm not real here. That would just throw the popcorn away, go back in the garage, figure something else to do. They want to believe.
Yeah.
And always remember that. So when you're doing it out there, and there are those wonderful, crazy moments, and if you start seeing those moments when you're performing, that's really one of the top lines, because the audience is no longer observing you. They are engaged. It's like you're in.
That's what you want.
You just go right in the artist's world. You're not on stage because you're Fergie. And they're not watching Fergie because they're with Fergie. And that's the fun part. And it's what's that like when all of a sudden it really just hits? And for myself, sometimes I notice that at the end of a show, it was always slightly dreamlike because I'd taken so much time to develop that.
Yeah.
There's this kind of shadow in it. I don't know what to call it, but it follows you. If you
Yeah,
could
it's just
describe that.
like so exhilarating being up there, and I just getting to kind of be somebody else for that moment. It's really fun. It has its whole other sense of thrill or excitement. I think just getting to because it's music that the fans already love. You're not trying to sell them on anything new. You're just showing you're reminding them the nostalgic. It's exciting. It's exciting for them as it is for you. So the feeling definitely lasts. It leaves an impression on you. I mean, I've been back for like a couple weeks, and it's all I think about. I used to think about these kids, how excited they were. So it's very rewarding.
It's our job. Yes. We find a story, we adapt to it, melodic or otherwise, and then the truth is, it's about you. Because without you, we don't get a life. We don't get to be something else. It's a normal 9-to-5 life. And without you, that's not possible. And that's something I wish a lot more artists would remember. We serve a story, but that story serves an audience. They actually pay the bills. And remember, yes, in spite of those incredible blockbuster movies and those phenomenal albums, remember, you actually paid the bills.
That's true. We're nothing without our audience.
No, God, no, that's kind of fun. We usually start with a room, and with me, 3 brothers ask me, what are you doing? Get out of here. So a little something in that. So I've watched you do this, and you get pretty deep into character. Had you had any other did you ever experiment with any other type of stuff in school, plays, drama, anything?
Not a whole lot. I did very minimal of any of that. I was shy. I wasn't the theater girl. I just kind of grew into this in my late 20s, early 30s. Yeah, I threw myself out there. You just never know. It's never too old to start doing something that you didn't realize that you loved, but you fell in love with an idea of something and you make it happen. And then I think just visualizing and dreaming something up and then seeing it come to fruition is pretty awesome. So.
And she just said something that is more common than most people will ever know. You'll never know that if you ever hang around with enough artists, it's usually something that got us, and we all had this odd shyness about us. And you think, really? Yeah, I found out in my 20s I was far more comfortable with crowds 10,000, 20,000 than I was 4 strangers I didn't know at a party I was supposed to go to for business. And I was just horrific.
I can agree with that. We played in front of in Singapore New Year's Eve the year before last. It was like in front of about 12,000 people, and I can't believe I didn't get that nervous. I was like, this is weird, but if I were to, be in a small group of strangers or even sometimes family, I sometimes get a little more nervous.
Wow.
Than
Singapore, yes. Okay, that's kind of like, so obviously you're there, it's, what is that audience like compared to an American audience? Because they usually seem to be just this, it's as though, anyone who's coming as a tribute artist, they treat them as the artist. They don't think tribute. Is that how they did that?
Yeah, they were a really amazing crowd. I mean, it was New Year's Eve and the fireworks were going off, and it was pretty exciting for everybody involved. So yeah, they took us really well. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna step over. We got a question. Thank you, Miss Producer. And let's see. This is Francis from Asheville, North Carolina. Oh, how cool. Okay. Have you had the opportunity to meet Fergie? Ooh. Have you?
Well, I used to dream about it, and it actually came true.
You got to meet her.
I got to meet Fergie, yeah. She was, a couple years ago, she was doing a shoe signing for her shoe line, autograph signing for her shoe line, sorry. And I got to meet her. I bought a pair of shoes, got in the VIP line, met her. She was amazing. She was so down to earth. And, they say imitation is the best form of flattery. And that's what the vibe I felt from her. She was like flattered that, when I showed her what we do, she was like really excited and let me take selfies with her. And
how
she was so down to earth and awesome. I think I was on cloud 9 for like at least a month or 2. I was just like, I can't believe I met Fergie. Wow. Like, I've been studying her for so long, and to finally meet her, it was
that had to be quite an affirmation that I'm on the right path.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, very, very cool. So, folks, pay attention. Look down there. That is blackeyedtease.com. And this is Amylicious, and you've got to go see this and enjoy all of this stuff. We'll be back because it's your turn, and a lot of the important questions that you want to know about, we're going to do our best to answer. So keep sending them in. Take care.